Policy analyst Dr. De Freitas recently highlighted a massive shift in Ontario's education funding, a severe recalibration of the Ontario Student Assistance Program. The Ontario Student Assistance Program, or OSAP, is the primary government system that provides loans and grants to help students pay for college and university. The government recently injected a $6.4 billion investment into the post-secondary sector. Policymakers state this move is designed to ensure long-term fiscal sustainability for the province. This animated chart illustrates the strict new math applied to student funding. Non-repayable grants are capped at a maximum of 25%, forcing the remaining 75% into repayable loans. Simultaneously, baseline education costs are expanding upward because the provincial tuition freeze ended.
The government might be balancing its macro-level spreadsheets with these adjustments, but this mathematical reality leaves a severe, immediate financial vacuum for individual students. Down at the ground level, these policy adjustments hit hard. Groups like the Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance are raising serious alarms about the consequences. The Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance, known as OSAP, is a coalition that advocates for the interests of professional and undergraduate students in the province. They warn that these new debt burdens will deter students from low-income and marginalized communities from pursuing degrees. This progress bar visualizes the core problem we are solving today, the financial gap. This empty space represents the exact, literal thousands of dollars suddenly missing from a student's expected funding that they now have to replace to survive the academic year. Institutions are trying to negotiate long-term systemic fixes, like an enhanced Student Access Guarantee. The Student Access Guarantee, or SAG, ensures institutions provide enough financial aid so no qualified student is turned away due to lack of funds. But negotiations take time. Students cannot wait for bureaucratic fixes. They must calculate a way to fill this gap today. Dr. Freitas outlines a strategic solution framework to fight back. He advises students to treat their university's financial aid office as their primary line of defense. These offices act as gatekeepers to a wide range of hidden, underutilized bursaries and scholarships. Because many students passively rely entirely on government loans, thousands of dollars in institutional aid go unclaimed every year. Looking back at our progress bar, we can see the impact of claiming just one of these awards. The Ontario First Generation Bursary, for example, can drop up to $3,500 into a student's account for a single academic year. Passively waiting for OSAP direct deposits is a dead strategy. Actively extracting these institutional funds is the mandatory first step to staying financially afloat. But bursaries alone rarely close the entire gap, especially in an economy where traditional, part-time, entry-level jobs are increasingly scarce. The highest yield variable in this equation is work-integrated learning platforms, specifically a tool called REBIN. Work-integrated learning, or WIL, formally blends academic studies with practical, paid workplace experience. The mechanics of REBIN are highly efficient. Students bypass unpaid internships and complete flexible, remote projects for actual companies in exchange for direct, tangible payment. Here on the progress bar, we see the exact math. Completing 3 REBIN projects earns a student $4,200, pushing the filled area significantly higher. Add a 4th project, and the total yield jumps to $5,600, effectively replacing the slashed government grant funding. These platforms turn students from passive debt holders into active earners. This shift simultaneously solves the immediate financial gap and addresses long-term resume deficits. To capture the final remaining dollars, students need to cast a wide net. Scavenging through third-party databases like Scholarships Canada takes time, but applying for every eligible award pays off. Finally, there is a critical, often ignored right: the appeals process for unfair government assessments or the bursary for students with disabilities. The Bursary for Students with Disabilities, or BSWD, is a specialized grant designed to cover disability-related educational services and equipment. If an assessment falls short, students must gather hard documentation, write a concise case, and demand a fair reassessment from their financial or disability office. As we see on this final progress bar, pushing back against rigid bureaucratic assessments is the last required action to solve the equation. Filling that final sliver completely neutralizes the financial gap, securing a student's funding for the year. The mathematical gap is closed. Despite a system designed to push them toward loans, students can engineer their own financial survival. Dr. Freitas's core thesis is clear. Students must operate as active agents of their own success, rather than passive victims of policy decisions. But zooming back out to the macro level, policymakers and institutional leaders still have a massive responsibility to address.
Savvy students can mitigate the damage right now, but a higher education system that relies on the crushing weight of student debt to balance its books is inequitable and unsustainable in the long term. Until the system improves, execute this exact blueprint. Claim your institutional aid, complete paid projects, and appeal unfair assessments to protect your education today while continuing to demand a fairer system for tomorrow.